Hello and welcome. I'm Inger Marie Christensen from the SDU Centre for Teaching and Learning, and in this video I'll explain what options you have when you want to communicate with students through your Blackboard course, and I'll also recommend when and how to use each of these options. Here's an overview of the different options you have when you want to communicate with students about your course. I'll just briefly list the options here and then explain each of them in more detail on the following slides. First, we have announcements with the welcome announcement as a particular way of communicating with students. Then we have the SMS function, sending emails via the system, and finally the Q&A, questions and answer forum. Note that the more you communicate online in connection with, for example, doing blended or distance learning courses, the more important netiquette becomes. Netiquette are rules for good conduct in online communication, and I'll tell you more about this at the end of this video. The menu item announcement is placed at the top of your Blackboard courses. This is where you can create announcements for students about upcoming deadlines, new materials you have uploaded, what they need to prepare for your next lesson, excursions that you are going on, etc. When you create an announcement, we recommend that you do not set an expiration date. In that way, old announcements will remain visible at the bottom of the screen, and you keep a history of any messages you've sent to students. Note that you can also link from an announcement to a particular place in your course if you want to direct students to new resources you have uploaded or new activities you have created. This is the course link function. There is a notification system in Blackboard that will automatically let students know about new announcements, content, etc. If, however, you're eager for students to read your message, you can tick the box, send a copy of this announcement immediately when you create the announcement, and the message will go directly to each student's email inbox. The welcome announcement is a special genre of announcements. You create it in connection with the start of your course so that it is ready to welcome students online. In your welcome announcement, you should explain to students what the purpose of the Blackboard course is and what role it plays in relation to the other components of the course you're doing. Let them know what they can expect to find in each of the sections of your Blackboard course. Also give students instructions concerning how they get started using the Blackboard course. Where should they go first and then what? The welcome announcement is also the place to briefly match expectations with students. Let them know what they can expect of you concerning the upload of new materials, feedback and/or e-moderation, and let them know what you expect of them concerning participation online. If you're doing blended or distance learning, it's very important that you signal to students that the Blackboard course is not only a course where you as a teacher distribute resources, it is also a space for student interaction and learning. Therefore, it's important that students feel ownership and are active on the e-learning platform. We'll get back to this topic later on in this course. If you're doing blended or distance learning with online activities, we recommend that you send out a weekly announcement, for example, each Monday. In this weekly announcement, you can remind students of the tasks and deadlines of the week, and you can motivate them to engage in the activities. Online activities can be less visible to students, especially if they don't appear in a timetable, so you need to signpost them through weekly announcements. Also remember in your weekly announcement to acknowledge the contributions that active students make to encourage them to keep up the good work. Via tools and send email, you also have the opportunity to send messages to students' email inboxes. You can send to all students, groups of students or individual students. You can also send email to people with other roles in your course. Only use this option for communicating with individual students, for example, to send them reminders if they are late with their submissions or the like. Using the email function means a loss of overview compared to using the announcement function, and you'll have no track of the history, that is, what emails you've sent out. Note that there's also an SMS function in your Blackboard courses. It can be reached via Course Tools in the control panel. This function should only be used for urgent messages, such as a change of rooms or cancellation of a lesson with short notice. You need to contact the Blackboard Systems Administrator to have the SMS function activated on your course before you can use it. Many teachers find that they spend much time answering questions from students via email during breaks in lessons, in the hall, etc. There is a simple but very effective way of managing questions from students and saving time. You can create a discussion board in your Blackboard course and then use this as a forum for questions and answers, a Q&A forum. Tell students that you'll be happy to answer any of their questions, but they must post these to the Q&A forum. Tell students to read each other's questions before posting their own. They might find that somebody else already posted a question and that there already is an answer from you. Also encourage students to respond to each other's questions if they know the answer. If a student does ask a question that another student already posed, you can simply answer by referring to the earlier question and your response. When using a Q&A forum, it's very important to explain when and how frequently you will answer questions. Students will expect you to answer within minutes if you don't tell them otherwise. Note that you can set up the discussion board so that you are automatically notified via email when a student has posted an answer. There is a subscription function. You can create a new menu item for the Q&A forum to make it visible to students. Simply click the plus at the top of the course menu and choose Tool Link. Type in Q&A forum in the name box and select discussion board in the type box. Tick mark available to students and click submit. Now your Q&A forum is ready. I'll conclude this video with a few words on the topic of netiquette. The more you communicate with students online and the more interaction you encourage between students, the more essential netiquette becomes. In blended and distance learning courses, it's important to have a dialogue with students to make them aware of what constitutes good conduct in online communication. This could be guidelines for students' contributions to blogs, wikis, and discussion forum activities. It would be relevant to point out that correct English or Danish be used, that students should avoid using slang, but remember to practice the use of the professional terms embedded in your subject. Also note that in online communication, you should avoid writing long and formal contributions. This can stifle the dialogue. Instead, write in a short oral style and encourage inquiry and dialogue. The best thing would be for you to agree to a set of netiquette rules with your students so they get ownership. Remember to include the more formal issues around copyright rules, file formats in connection with submission of assignments, etc. That's all for now.